I think joy and happiness and doing things you like is important.
My favorite thing is sports cards. When I'm not on YouTube, I am building my collection. And when I started, I wish there was a sports card strategy show.
He wasn't necessarily going to be a first-round pick before all this Heisman buzz. Now they're talking about him being a top 5 pick.
Paul Hickey and the team at nooffseason.com personally helped build my Jaden Daniels collection, and they're looking to do the same for you. Just check them out on social media or nooffseason.com.
Hey guys, Andy Broom, Vice President of CGC Cards, and you're listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show, and there's no off-season.
What's up, everyone? Buckeye Dill here. You're listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show, part of the nooffseason.com sports network. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to stick around for top-notch advice on how to stay up to date with your sports card investment portfolio, because remember, there is no off-season.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with nooffseason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at nooffseason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's nooffseason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from marketmoversapp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at marketmoversapp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. Yes, we're fired up on a Wednesday, ready to do it, ready to talk about sports cards, specifically how to stay happy in the hobby. And the way that I stay happy in the hobby is I like to try to make money flipping sports cards and help all of you make money flipping sports cards. On today's show, we're going to talk about the top 5 cards to buy graded right now and flip later. We're going to talk about why I just spent over $500 on cards at PaniniAmerica.net, specifically that you can still go out and buy for the NFL Rookie Premier. NFL Rookie Premier plays that you can go make right now. We'll talk real quick about the new PSA Vault, eBay Vault details. Of course, we'll do Will It Gem. And we're going to give Graybo's grand opening a little look in that happened over the weekend. We were at the Dallas Card Show, but we will be at Graybo's soon, hopefully, to check out the new location. And Caitlin Clark just broke a record. Breaking news from Panini America. Caitlin Clark's Panini Instant sells for nearly $25K. That's WNBA record. $24,921.60 for the one of one. It's the one of one auto rookie card from Panini Instant. And Indiana Fever debut, scoring 20 points in her WNBA debut. So congrats to Caitlin Clark. Hopefully congrats to the owner of that card. I'm not sure if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down, but it is a one of one. So the market price has been set for that thing. And breaking news, just wanted to give Panini some love. We'll be talking a lot about Panini in terms of the NFL Rookie Premier plays here in a second. Before we get to our question of the day and do our live chat love, just a quick housekeeping note. Don't want to gloss over this, of course, but do want to be fully transparent with the audience. Some of you probably know that Connor Barnett has been a big part of our content since probably about August or September. He started as our head of content at nooffseason.com in about September 2023. So he was approaching, what is that? Maybe the 9-month mark here at nooffseason.com. And Connor is a great family friend. He was not really involved in the hobby before joining nooffseason.com. He did a great job learning, getting caught up to speed in terms of how the market works. Definitely a brilliant guy, great guy. And Connor has decided to pursue other let's probably say more lucrative career opportunities. He is no longer our head of content at nooffseason.com. He is out there on the free agent market right now looking for probably a completely different type of career. So while he did have a passion for the hobby and a passion for the nooffseason.com family, ultimately he needed to go out and find a different job. So we obviously wish him the best. I've been working with him behind the scenes on just doing all I can to help him. Again, Connor is a good family friend. Definitely a good family friend. Always will be. Lives close to me here in Franklin, Tennessee, and just does not want to be involved in the hobby anymore, unfortunately. So we did the best we could to try to keep Connor in the hobby and keep Connor part of the team. I think he'll always be part of the family. We love him. We wish him the best, and a phenomenal guy. So I did want to address that because while I feel like everything is always very fluid with people other than myself on this show and nooffseason.com, because this is my business and my show, I do like to include other people, and sometimes the audience gets attached to the other people that we include. So just wanted to let everybody know the update on Connor, and more to come regarding the team at nooffseason.com. But basically, guys and gals, I just want to reiterate, I've said this many, many times as our audience has grown. I'm the brand. I'm the brand. This is my business. This is my podcast. I do have a team of people that help me on a part-time basis at nooffseason.com, basically update the data feeds, make sure that the data feeds are set for the formula and some of the other premium content. But I'm what you're paying for if you're a premium member, and I'm who you're listening to if you are just a listener of the show. And I appreciate you and I love all of you. But of course, we've got our guy Lefty on the team. We've got our guy Andy Kaysen, Carter Bryant. We've got Chase Krim, many, many personalities, Duke Dodson, Cody Krim. I mean, the nooffseason.com fam has so many people out there. Iowa Dave, Sports Card Dad. I mean, Jeff Wilson. We've got a lot of people out there that are supporters. We talked about Prism God, Jay from Mojo Sports. The list goes on and on. Jeremy Lee, shout out Jeremy Lee, Mike LaCusta. I mean, so many different people, that Gary from Hoops and Cards, that are just part of this family, good friends that I've met, and all of you. So we're going to keep it moving. We lost Connor. That's definitely an L, but we're going to keep it moving, and many, many more W's to come. So let's say hello to our live chat here at youtube.com/Paul Hickey primarily. And then let's get into our question of the day. So live chat, who's your card guy in the house? And Shane Graham, what's going on? Love you guys. Appreciate all of you and your participation on the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, you can go to sportscardstrategy.com, join the Discord. Drop any comments, L's, dubs below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. And we're gonna engage, right? We're gonna engage with each other. So let's get into our question of the day. Speaking of engaging with each other, question of the day is, how have your grading submissions been going? Of course, on Wednesdays, we talk about the top 5 cards to buy, graded, and flip. How have your grading submissions been going? Who do you grade with? Why? And how have the submissions been going? I want to know. So whether you're new to the fam, whether you're a returning member to the fam, you can get in by dropping a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, or going over to Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and commenting on this pinned post. How have your grading submissions been going? Let's engage. Let's talk. And let's get into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip. Okay, so in at number 5, and there's typically a bonus card. So I think I'm gonna have a bonus card coming up here for you guys. And let's say hello to Kano. Kano's in the house in the live chat. Number 5 is LeBron James 2003 Fleer Tradition 261 base PSA 8. And what I like about this list today is that we normally talk about PSA 10s on the Wednesday show as a buy, graded, and flip later. And with LeBron and with some other players, you don't need a PSA 10. You can get several other grades. There's a lot of examples of that right now at nooffseason.com. We've put out a lot of content recently. We've got a Michael Jordan and a Joe Montana profile up there now for our sports card rankings. So go check that out. LeBron James, we've got a 1K budget builder article on the top 5 ways to spend $1,000 on LeBron James cards. And PSA 8. So right now, the snipe price for this, so just to define for people who don't know, target cost, snipe price, same thing, $93. And based on historical data, this card can sell for $140 in October pretty easily for LeBron. So 20% ROI on this one. We like it. All right, moving along. Next is LeBron's 2003 Topps 221 base. And again, this is not a PSA 10. This is a BGS 8.5. So we're looking at LeBron rookie cards right now. And because they're down quite a bit, not all of them are down. But these are down. And when we run them through the formula, you don't have to do anything to these cards. You can just buy them now for the target cost and make money later flipping. So the LeBron white suit card that Lefty loves, 2003 Topps 221 base BGS 8.5, target cost $175. This is a $300 card in October pretty easily, right? $300 card in October, and that's a 37% ROI, right? So 37% ROI, 2 LeBron cards to kick us off. Up next, we got a Giannis card. Giannis, like LeBron, was eliminated early from the NBA playoffs. Unlike LeBron, he didn't even play because he was injured. And let's not forget, Giannis is a 2-time NBA MVP, and he's still under the age of 30. And he probably would have come back and played in the NBA playoffs had the Bucks moved forward. So we got a Giannis card in here, and it is his, probably his flagship card. His 2013 Prism 290 base PSA 10. And the target cost right now is $500. This is probably pretty easily close to a $900 card. It's between an $800 and a $900 card in October. Now, our formula takes into account all of the different costs, right? So when I talk about the target cost and the snipe price, I'm talking about the same cost that you need to just go buy the card for. If you can get it in an auction, if you can get it, in a buy it now or best offer for the target cost, $500. This is an $800 or $900 card in October. That's a 42% ROI, and our formula at nooffseason.com deducts all of the fees. So you could be selling this on eBay. Now, if you sell it in person or at a card show, you might make a little bit more money, but a lot of times that's offset because people only want to pay 80% of comps at a card show. But nevertheless, Giannis 2013 Prism 290 base PSA 10 is our third card to buy graded and flip. You don't have to do anything to this. Obviously, it's already in a PSA 10. And again, if you want to just shortcut into searching for this card, we've done all the work for you at nooffseason.com. All you have to do is go to nooffseason.com, our formula-based sports card rankings, click on this card or click on Giannis's profile, and you'll see links to eBay searches for this card. Okay. So we've got a theme here going. We've got a theme, and, it follows what makes the most sense, right? Because when superstars are eliminated from the NBA playoffs and their prices go down and they still project to be the exact same player in the future that they have been, you've got a nice little pocket to buy and then flip. And this is why the formula makes sense, because it just prioritizes these for you, right? Now, you can make money in a lot of different ways. We want to make sure that we're doing the analysis in the lab, right? Even though we don't have Connor anymore, I'm in the lab. 10, 12, 15 hours a day. And we still got Sonia. I don't know if you guys remember Sonia, but Sonia's in the lab too. So we've got nooffseason.com team members in the lab working out this data, getting these formula-based rankings for you. And what we found in at number 4, which is actually number 2, I've counted it down. Number 2 to make the most amount of money is Giannis's 2013 Hoops 275 base PSA 10 is our number 2 card. Target cost $162. This was a $325 card conservatively last October, and there's absolutely no reason based on historical data and trends. This is not a top sale. $325 is not a top sale. It is a conservative number. We put the conservative numbers in there. So $162 target cost, $325 card in October, conservatively, 60% ROI. We love it. We love it. All right. So who will it be in the number 1 card? You're going to like this. You're going to like this because it's not only LeBron. It's not only a LeBron card, but it's also a Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade card. So the 2003 Fleer Tradition Trio Rookie. It's a LeBron card, but it's with Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade. The Trio Rookie from 2003 Fleer Tradition. $192 buy-in price. And you're looking at this being likely a $400 card in October, conservatively, based on historical data. Nothing else needs to happen with LeBron. Nothing else needs to happen in the market. The market just needs to continue to do what it's done over the last couple of years, which has been pretty steady. You know, we're talking about, when we say the last couple of years, we're talking about 2023 and 2022. We're not talking about 2021 or 2020. So this card, PSA 9, 2003 Fleer Tradition, LeBron, Carmelo, D Wade, $192 snipe price, target cost, conservatively around a $400 card in October. That is a 67% ROI. And we do have one more card. And call this a bonus card, call this card number 1. But you only need about $55 to buy this card. So the number 1 overall card in today's top 5, which is actually a top 6, cards to buy already graded and flip, is a $51 buy-in point for LeBron 2003 Bazooka base 276 PSA 8. Okay. Sold 2 days ago for $51. If you can get it for around $51, this projects to be a card over $100 in October, $115 conservatively based on our mathematical formula at nooffseason.com. That's an 80% ROI. 80% ROI. So those are your top 5 sports cards to buy, graded, and flip. The theme being LeBron and Giannis today. So you could definitely make money on those guys. And before we go into our next segment, which is going to be just a quick update on the PSA Vault and eBay Vault details, I do want to address a comment in the live chat from Joe S. So Joe S, not sure, Joe, if you're a new or returning nooffseason.com family member listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show, we appreciate you. And I do want to address this because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. And our show has grown to the point where we have a very passionate audience. And our passionate audience asks me a lot of questions consistently about the business, how I run the business, sort of challenging me to make it better. And I appreciate that. I got to be honest, it's not easy to deal with all the time. But I certainly appreciate it, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. So I want to read Joe's comment, and then I want to basically debunk the misinformation from Joe's comment. He says, what can be learned from Connor? Why do people leave the hobby? Is sports cards flipping a sustainable and healthy business model, or is it gambling in disguise? Joe, I think that might be a legitimate comment, but it doesn't have anything to do with Connor, and it doesn't have anything to do with why Connor left. I can tell you that. Connor was interested in a career in sports, and he actually is a very successful sports bettor. And he and I are family friends, and we talked at family gatherings. He had left his other job and was unemployed for about 8 months playing golf and needed a job. And I said, look, I could use some help at nooffseason.com. I'm going to train you on everything I'm doing. And he had collected cards as a kid, but was very like clear with me, and really I thought we were very clear with the audience that he's not partaking in the plays that we had talked about. His role was to be in the lab researching plays for the other analysts in the network, as well as the premium members to potentially partake in. And he did a great job in that role in terms of being in the lab, analyzing the data, looking at market movers day in and day out, and helping update the basic content at nooffseason.com. So his job was not really to be a hobbyist. He never really was a hobbyist. And so, no, he was not a situation where like he came in and like couldn't make money flipping sports cards. If anything, he did make a few bucks flipping sports cards because of the knowledge that he learned as part of working here. And then he left for his own personal reasons, just because this is not what he wanted to do with his professional career. And he wanted to, probably make a lot more money in a completely separate industry. So, I think like, Joe, your point could be valid, I guess. But it has nothing to do with Connor. And I really don't, I actually don't agree with you. It is a sustainable and healthy business model. I've done it for the last several years. I continue to do it. I'm doing it full time right now, in addition to running this business. And when you do it the way that we help you do it on the Sports Card Strategy Show and at nooffseason.com, it is sustainable. Card Snatcher in the house, Ryan Painter in the house. What's going on? We got a lot of success stories. Joe S., if you're struggling and you need help, you should definitely email me at paul@nooffseason.com. I can get you started on the right track with making money flipping sports cards, making smart decisions. But I appreciate your support. Okay. I want to talk quickly about the eBay PSA Vault situation, because for those of you who don't know, and many of you already do know because we've covered it several times on this show recently, PSA and eBay kind of made a trade. eBay acquired Golden Auctions from PSA, and PSA acquired, I think among other things, the eBay Vault. And so that allows now for what PSA and collectors is calling a seamless experience related to being able to grade a card at PSA, store it in the new PSA Vault, and still list it on eBay. So basically, PSA released an update, and so did eBay. And the update from PSA collectors says that there's going to be two ways to list. So one is you can grade a card. So it takes you from the grading room where you submit to PSA. And when you submit to PSA, this is just like what we talk about on Monday's show, where we talk about the top 5 cards to buy raw and grade. This is what we're talking about. You're submitting to PSA raw cards. And when you do that, after it's authenticated and graded, you can select destinations. You will be able to select destinations soon. It's going to be card by card, which is cool. So you can submit, 10 all the way on up to however many cards you want to submit. And you can either sell on eBay, which is awesome. You can store it in the PSA Vault and then sell it on eBay later, or you can send it home to you, right? Now the other way is, so the PSA Vault, which is the official vault for eBay, is what they're calling it, is when you send it to the vault, like I said a minute ago, it's secure, free, fully insured storage. When you sell, you can then sell on eBay later. Your card is listed on PSA's store. This is interesting. This is an interesting little wrinkle here. If you decide to sell it on eBay, apparently, if you want to sell it on eBay as part of your own eBay account, you have to do it right away. This is how I'm interpreting this. But if you want to sell it later on eBay after you send it to the vault, it's listed on PSA's store on eBay in a 7-day auction. This is like what it used to be like for PWCC. If you guys remember, PWCC back in the day had an account with eBay before eBay booted PWCC off. So you used to be able to send it into this is before eBay had a vault, right? Back in 2021 and prior, you could send your cards into PWCC for vault storage. You could list it on PWCC's marketplace, or you could list it on eBay through PWCC's account. So this is what it's reminding me of, where they've obviously cut PWCC out of this equation. But now if you're going to sell it on eBay later, you list it on PSA's store in a 7-day auction, and then PSA handles the shipping and sends payment directly to you. So that is super interesting. I'm going to read a little bit more from the press release on this topic, because I think it's worth just making sure that we're giving you guys all the details. So the transactions have closed. Basically, we did the announcement a while back, and the transactions have closed. We talked about how the transactions still had to legally close for this experience to launch. And so now collectors and eBay transactions close. Summer launch expected for integrated end-to-end hobby experience. Customers will now have consistent access to the vault, whether buying or selling on eBay. So you can still buy on eBay and send it to the vault, grading with PSA, or submitting items directly to the vault for insured storage. For cards submitted to PSA for grading, customers will have the ability to elect to sell those cards on eBay, vault them, or have them sent back home to showcase in their personal collection, simplifying the entire process. So maybe what I said earlier, I'm going to tweak it a little bit. What I'm thinking now is that if you send your card into PSA and PSA grades it, what I'm thinking that means now is that you'll be able to list that from the PSA vault to your own eBay account. But it seems like if you buy it from eBay and send it to your PSA vault, and then you want to list it on eBay, I think your only option is going to be to list it through PSA's account in a 7-day auction. If any of you guys have questions about anything we're talking about on the Sports Card Strategy Show, this included, go to nooffseason.com/ask and submit that form, and I'm going to answer it for you. All right. Within the PSA app, a full collection and inventory management experience will be available at the user's fingertips, including real-time tracking of any item's value via recent transactions and utilizing PSA's pricing data. eBay will integrate real-time transaction data and PSA population report directly into listings for relevant collectibles, providing buyers with a clear understanding of an item's rarity, grading distribution, and importantly, pricing. This can help buyers make more informed decisions by understanding how many items of a similar grade are in existence, while access to consolidating pricing data enables smarter buying, selling, and trading decisions. Using image-based listing capabilities, eBay customers will also be able to scan graded trading cards to create and populate new listings with greater speed and accuracy, including attributes like the certification number, product, set, year, team, player, features such as parallels, foils, insert, and card number. So this is exciting for me because I love efficiency. I love the fact that there's less steps to the process. There's more options within the process, meaning you don't need as many shipping costs right now. We're all about helping you plan out your plays. So, for example, like if you have stuff planned out, like you might be going on a trip, and you might not have access to receiving your cards at your home for a little while. I'm just throwing an example out there because life happens, right? Summer's coming up, summer vacation. Well, let's say you've got all these grading submissions at PSA right now and you're waiting on getting them back. Now you'll have the option to vault them in the PSA vault instead of worrying about a shipment coming back to your house. That's going to, A, give you some peace of mind, B, reduce shipping costs and hassle, and C, give you the option to just go ahead and list them on eBay right away from your own eBay account if they are your cards. If you're buying on eBay, this is the other thing. If you're buying expensive cards on eBay and you don't want it to go through the authentication process and then ship to you, and you just immediately want it in your eBay vault, which is now the PSA vault, you can do that. But it seems like the caveat now is that you have to list it through PSA's account. Either way, a lot of great options. And then all the things I just read off just seem like it's going to be more integration between eBay data and PSA data, more accuracies. So I'm excited about all that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you excited about it? Does it make sense to you? Do you need more of a breakdown? Do you have more questions? Let me know in the comments below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, or you can go to nooffseason.com/ask and I will answer your questions. What I decided to do, quick update. Many of you have been going back and forth with who have cards in the eBay vault right now as they are transitioning over to PSA. I decided to go ahead and just get my cards out. I went into my eBay vault and it was easy. I checked the boxes to ship the cards back to me. They shipped in like 3 days. I got them back in like a total of 5 business days. They shipped 2 to 3 days after I made the request, and then they got to me about 2 to 3 days after they shipped. eBay does a great job packing them up because, to be honest with you, my a-hole FedEx guy, who legitimately is an a-hole. There's 2 FedEx guys that deliver to my house. One is super nice. The other one is the opposite of nice. I've said it twice already. I'm not going to say it a third time, but I do not like this man. And he dropped my package right in front of me. Like, he literally dropped my package, $7,000 worth of sports cards, graded sports cards, dropped it in front of me. Thank goodness eBay packs these fuckers up very, very well, because there was not any damage to any of the card, in spite of my a-hole FedEx guy basically walking up to my front door, being a DICK, and then essentially throwing down my package in front of me. So it almost ruined my day yesterday. I'm obviously still trying to get over it. But the cards weren't damaged. So thank you to eBay. Thank you to PSA. I think this is all going very, very well. Speaking of PSA, it's time for Will It Gem. It's time for Will It Gem as we say hello to Sean, Red 5 Cards, my main man. What is up? What is going on? Good to see you. All right, so it's time for Will It Gem, and there's a lot of good stuff going on in today's Will It Gem. So let's take a look at what we got. As you'll see, I got my SGC slabs here ready to crack. So first up, we've got this CJ Stroud Prism Break Green. It's an SGC 9.5. I picked it up as a throw-in in a much larger deal. It's only about a $30 card max, but it is CJ Stroud. It is an SGC 9.5. If I can get this thing in a PSA 10, I'd be pretty pumped that it's not serial numbered, but I think it would double the value, easily double the value if it's a PSA 10. So I'm showing you, a lot of times I speed up my slab cracking for the Will It Gem here, but I'm showing you in real time, basically now, how long it takes me to crack a slab. I'm a little slow, but I do it all the time. And I'd rather just go slow and steady to win that race. And I think, what's hard for me to tell about this Prism Break, and I did get it essentially for free. It was like a throw-in and a deal. So I think it's going to be a win in a PSA slab either way, whether it's a 9 or whether it's a 10. It'll be a big win if it's a 10. But what I do think about this is I can't tell anything about the centering on this card. I mean, you can kind of tell, but it's totally different. It's a Prism insert, so it's totally different than like your typical Prism. And I'll keep you posted. I mean, I'll definitely keep you posted. But we got this thing opened, and here we go with my mini screwdriver. And for those of you wondering, just using pliers that I bought off Amazon, just using a little mini screwdriver that I bought off Amazon, and then I literally just cracked the entire top of the plastic off above the label. And SGC is super easy to crack. Super easy to crack. So we say hello to Fern in the house. Good to see Fern. And got my Stroud out. Let me know if you guys think it'll gem. I'm going to hold it up here for you in a second. And if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, just head on over to youtube.com/Paul Hickey to check out this Will It Gem segment. Drop a comment below. And I'll report back to you. But it's a nice looking CJ Stroud green prism break. Now it's ready in a card saver to go off the PSA. And I think, I've been buying a lot of CJ Stroud. I've been buying a lot of CJ Stroud. Here's Anthony Richardson, trying to buy a lot of Anthony Richardson too. So now this one is just a base prism Anthony Richardson, but it is in a SGC 10. So while I have had mixed results, cracking SGC slabs and sending them into PSA, for ultra modern cards that are SGC 10s, they typically do go over as PSA 10s, especially if they're like a chrome card or a prism or like a Bowman University chrome, those cards. So this one, I think it will gem. I hope the CJ Stroud gems. I think this AR SGC 10 is going to gem. As you can see, cracking this one pretty quickly here. And well-centered top, bottom, left, right. Well-centered back, left, right. Now the back, left, right centering, I've said this on previous episodes, but I use the stat plate to kind of give me a gauge of how well-centered the back is. But just because the back is well-centered does not mean that the front's well-centered. So you do have to look at both, because PSA and other grading companies do take into account both. And Alan Ma is in the live chat along with Fern. So, all right, up next, and we're going to get back to the live chat here in a second because we got some good stuff going on from Card Snatcher, Fern, Alan Ma. But these are two big ones. So these are two that I had shipped from my eBay vault to home yesterday. They were dropped by the a-hole FedEx man, but I was going to crack them anyway. And one is a Shedeur Sanders yellow auto, Bowman Chrome first. So yellow is out of 75 for those of you who don't know. And I paid $550 for this one. It's an SGC 1010. And it's important to go over your SGC 1010s and make sure that you think they're going to gem at PSA if you're going to do this. But since I was going to drop a PSA submission in the mail anyway, and my eBay vault submission came back, I just went ahead and said, look, I don't want these in an SGC slabs. This is the perfect opportunity to just go ahead and get these two Shedeur cards into PSA slabs. So I really, really think they're going to gem. I really do, because I cracked them out perfectly, did not damage the cards. This yellow auto out of 75, I bought a long time ago for $550. The other thing to consider here is when if you're trying to flip a card like this, that's like it's going to be a low pop card. With a low pop card like this, because it's out of 75, you run the risk of being the last comp. So I'm going to give you guys some, there's a lot of good, valuable tips when you listen to the Sports Card Strategy Show. Here's one of them. When you spend like $500 or more on a card, and it happens to be a serial numbered card, I would say 75 or less, there's a good chance that if you just keep it in the slab that you graded it in, if it's an SGC 1010, that you would be the last comp. Because if you're going to try to sell it as an SGC 1010, what's somebody going to do? They're going to go, oh, well, let's go see if there was another sale of an out of 75 yellow Shedeur Sanders auto SGC 1010. They're probably going to see your comp, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to offer you like 80 or 90% of comps, and that's under. I mean, unless you're waiting to a performance-based selling marker. And typically, I think with a guy like Shedeur, that will happen, and that's kind of what I was banking on. But then when I had the opportunity to just quickly get all of these cards back in hand from the eBay vault, I just said, let's do it, because I can change what the card is. I can change it from an SGC 1010, hopefully to a PSA 10, and then they're not looking at my comp, right? So same thing with this orange this is an orange out of 25. By the way, got the orange out of 25 for the same price that I got the yellow out of 75 for, $550. So when it's all said and done, I'm going to be about $576 into each of these, or $566 rather, into each of these Shador cards, because I just added the grading fee on there at PSA. And I think they're both going to gem. Now, I will also report back to you guys if PSA, now that they own SGC, is tracking like the actual serial number of the card, right? So it could be that PSA is keeping record of the actual serial number of my Shador cards, and that there would be, in theory, record of that at SGC. Well, now that they both are Collectors Universe companies, will they share that information? And if so, what will they do with that information? Will PSA slab it, knowing that it's cracked out of an SGC slab? What will they do? That'll be interesting. Right here, I kind of messed up the slab crack. That typically doesn't happen. So for those of you watching, sometimes every once in a while, when you crack as many slabs as I do, you see that basically it doesn't always come off clean. So in this case, there's like a crack across the middle of where the card is, and that's super risky. So basically, I just have to take my time and really try to jiggle the Johnson rod here a little bit, for those of you familiar with the Seinfeld reference, and then go ahead and try and crack that top of the slab off clean and get the card out. So spoiler alert, that's exactly what I do here. And then what I'm going to do is show you guys some other cards that I've purchased recently that I'm submitting. I like to show you guys like my entire PSA submission here. So let's go to the live chat while I struggle with getting this Shador card out. Card Snatcher says, FedEx, man. I found packages in the middle of my front yard and in the middle of the driveway. Now I have all of my packages held at the Walgreens across from work. Yeah, I might need to do something similar, because I'm losing trust in the FedEx delivery people. They're a nightmare around here. Fern says he's been buying Tua like crazy. We've got some Tua cards in the formula so you should look at the formula, Fern, for sure. Alan Ma says Mojo Sports had great advertising for you on his latest vlog at the Dallas Card Show. He had your banner in his background for a good 2 minutes. Love that, Alan Ma. Yeah, we set up that banner. It was a great setup. So yeah, Mojo's a great guy. That was great. Glad that he got our banner in there. Card Snatcher says, I thought I knew every word of every Seinfeld episode ever done, but jiggle the Johnson rod is a new one for me. Yeah, George Costanza says it when they're talking about car mechanics ripping you off, basically. So says you need a new Johnson rod. The Johnson rod. I might have added the jiggle part, but there's definitely a Johnson rod in Seinfeld. 100%, I can confirm that. All right, so will it gem? Do you think these cards are going to gem? Here they are. This is my PSA submission that I put in the mail today. 2 Shador Sanders serial numbered autos. Isaiah Collier out of 250. 2 Isaiah Collier Bowman Chrome U autos out of 250. 1 just base auto. Bilal Koulibaly red prism out of 100. Cam Whitmore prism silver. Wemby base 1, 2, 3 of them. Justin Herbert select out of 355 die cut. Picked that up at the show. Bijan Robinson is a guy that I'm very high on. 1 Pandora prism out of 400. 1 red prism out of 149. And CJ Stroud prism silver that I do not think is going to gem. Actually, I think all those cards have a really good chance of gemming, except for the CJ Stroud, just because the top bottom centering is off. And I'm even sending in a flawless patch of Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle out of flawless. It's an emerald patch out of 25. So I'm excited about that PSA submission. Speaking of will it gem, are you ready to start grading your sports cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. And if you're thoroughly confused, because I literally tell you to grade with PSA all the time, it's because PSA gives you the most value on the secondary market, while CGC has a little bit lower pricing, just as high grading standards, just as high quality. It's going to be better to protect your PC. So if you're looking to protect your PC, slab your cards at a very, very reputable up-and-coming grading company, because they're backed by the largest coin and paper-based grading company in the world. But they're new to sports cards. They've only been grading sports cards since 2021. That's why their slabs don't typically sell for as much on the secondary market. But if you're looking for that, I highly recommend CGC Cards in terms of perfect PC protection. All right, now I want to talk to you guys about NFL Rookie Premier Plays. Why I just spent more than $500 on 2024 NFL Rookie Cards. That's right. Plays that you can make right now. So Andy Kaysen and Carter Bryant, members of the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network at Football Card Quest, did a great job on yesterday's show that you can see at footballcardquest.com, but you can listen to right here on the Sports Card Strategy feed. They did a great job breaking down the significance of the NFLPA Rookie Premier and the cards that come out of it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the cards that are still available at PaniniAmerica.net. So if you go to PaniniAmerica.net and hover over store, and then go over to the football, go to Panini Instant, and then Panini Instant 2024 NFL RPS First Look. Basically what you're going to see is a bunch of rookie cards, first time in NFL uniforms. So there's a photo shoot at the rookie premiere. And you can see there's a bunch of base cards for each player. There's significant players missing. There's no Caleb Williams. There's no Jaden Daniels. There's no Drake May. There's no Marvin Harrison Jr. There's no Malik Neighbors. There's no Bo Nix. But there is J.J. McCarthy. There is Michael Penix. And there are several other intriguing players. Now, I would not recommend at all just going in here haphazardly and buying cards. I want to repeat. Do not just go in here and think, oh, these are cheap, I'm going to buy them. Don't do that, because not all of these are going to go up in value. There are specific cards that I believe make sense to buy. And I'm going to walk you through the ones that I bought. So as you go through this, though, you'll see guys that will intrigue you. You'll see guys like Keon Coleman. You'll see guys like Ladd McConkey. You'll even see some players that have some serial numbered cards. Like these are the base are print on demand, right? So the ones that have a countdown on them, the countdown's going to end, and then you're not going to be able to buy through PaniniAmerica.net anymore. And the print run is going to be based on how many people ordered those print on demand cards. Then there are parallels of those cards that you can order directly. There's out of 25, there's out of 10, there's out of 5. Then there's some autos, out of 49 autos, things like that. Now, most of the autos have been cherry picked out. Most of the serial numbered ones have been cherry picked out and are gone. There are some that are left. There are some base cards that are left. I'm going to walk you through the plays that I made that I think you can make right now and why I think they're going to make money. And if you have questions about any of it, go to nooffseason.com/ask and fill out the form, and I'm going to answer. So there's 2 sets of base cards that I think you can buy. One is J.J. McCarthy. The other is Michael Penix. So if you buy the 25 card bundle for each of those guys, you're going to get 25 cards of each. It'll just be a base paper card, but it'll be $4.20 per card, because it'll be $105 for the 25 set of cards. That includes your sales tax and shipping for the most part. So what you're going to do is immediately after you get them, you're going to send them to PSA, and you're going to hope for 10s. You're not going to get all 10s. You're probably going to get hopefully like at least 10 to 15 10s, and then the rest of them are going to be 9s, hopefully. Now, you should profit enough on the 10s where you're going to make money, because the math is that with your grading fee, you're going to be into each card for only $21.20. Because this will be JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix's first base rookie cards in an NFL uniform, and you're going to be first to the market in PSA Slabs with them, then you're going to be able to hopefully sell each gem mint 10 for at least $40 to $50 in the preseason. Hopefully your 9s will go for about your cost. So hopefully you'll break even on the 9s. You'll make around 50% on the 10s. And that's a good play. Don't overthink it. Just get the 25 card sets of each of the quarterbacks. The thing I also like about this is that McCarthy and Penix didn't really have the right card coming out of Bowman University, because they each had their firsts in 2021, which was unlicensed. And then they each had cards in 2022 and 2023. So their college card market was a little bit oversaturated with a bunch of cards, because they were each in those sets for 3 years. So now these pro releases, even though they're just base, should supersede a lot of cards that people already have for these two players. So the play for these two cards, the JJ McCarthy and the Michael Penix, for the RPS first look base, is to buy the 25 card sets of each and get it to PSA as soon as you get it back from Panini. I put a conservative 10-week turnaround time on this entire play. That includes the time that you would get them from Panini and get them back from PSA. As long as you send them in right away, you would receive the card in late July if you make the purchase this week. That would be perfect timing. Get the cards in late July. List all of your slabs. Okay, now I had some fun with some flyers, and I'm going to break down the flyers that I had some fun with here. So Brian Thomas Jr., and you'll notice a little pattern here, and I'm going to break it down. Brian Thomas Jr., first round wide receiver out of LSU to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I paid $25 for his jungle out of 25. It's not an auto, but because it is a jungle out of 25, it is a super short print. It's 25 or less. And it was only $25. So when I get this one back, I might just immediately list it raw out of 25 and maybe list it for, $60 and see if I can double up on that. Or I might send it in for grading. But there should be a lot of hype around Brian Thomas Jr. catching balls from Trevor Lawrence in training camp in the preseason. So this is not a long-term hold. None of these are long-term holds. These are all quick flips, because there will be more and more rookie cards coming out in pro uniforms for these players. And being first to the market, though, while there's such a high interest level, is key. It's a great play for flipping sports cards if you can do it. Meaning, if you have the time to do the quick flip on the grind like I am. Next up, kind of a fun one. I was able to snag a Jermaine Burton auto out of 49 for only $25. This is directly from Panini's website. You can get these on the secondary market already, by the way. eBay is pre-selling. A lot of eBay sellers are pre-selling these. So they were first to the website to get some of the more expensive ones that have already sold out, not the print-on-demand ones. And then they're reselling those in a pre-sale before they actually have them in hand. So that is another option. But I'm not gonna do that. I went Jermaine Burton auto out of 49 for $25. He's a third round wide receiver out of Alabama, from courtesy of Georgia, Alabama through Georgia. So those are two big schools, has a big market. He supposedly is a first round talent and fell to the third round due to character concerns. But now he is penciled in to be the number 3 wide receiver in Cincinnati, already developing chemistry with Joe Burrow, is what we hear. And if T. Higgins does get traded, which he definitely could get moved before the trade deadline, Jermaine Burton would slot in across from Jamar Chase as the number 2 wide receiver in Cincinnati. And he has that talent. So Jermaine Burton auto out of 49, $25. I snagged that one. And then I went ahead and got a Jermaine Burton white tiger stripe out of 5 for only $50, because an out of 5 tiger stripe for a Bengals player in a Bengals uniform could look sweet. and I could easily double up on that one if I were to sell it raw as soon as I get it back. So I'm excited about that. There's just a ton of interest right now and a ton of hype around these NFL rookies. You got to be careful if you're going as deep as a third round or deeper pick, though. Notice I did not buy the base of even the Brian Thomas Jr. I did not buy the base of the Jermaine Burton. I went low serial numbered, one card, 1 out of 25 jungle for BTJ, 2 Jermaine Burtons, 1 auto out of 49, and 1 non-auto white tiger stripe out of 5. And they're super cheap, 25, 25, and 50. Okay, now here's where it gets even more fun. For those of you who are familiar with the Sports Card Strategy Show, you are likely familiar with the fact that I hate Aaron Rodgers. I almost hate my FedEx man as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers. So because I hate Aaron Rodgers, there is a player that I kind of like as a sleeper. His name is Jordan Travis. For those of you who are familiar, Jordan Travis was a Heisman Trophy candidate at Florida State this year, on track to lead Florida State to a national championship before he suffered a catastrophic season-ending injury. Now, he has worked his way back from that injury to become a 5th-round pick and likely backup for the New York Jets. He was picked at 171st overall. I got his white tiger out of 5 for $50, and I got his jungle out of 25 for $20. Now, notice, I'm not doing base cards for him. The reason I didn't do base cards for him is because I don't see a whole lot of hype around him. I just see him as a backup sleeper flyer play. And you guys know, if you're familiar with the Sports Card Strategy Show, I love myself a good backup QB play. All right, so check out nooffseason.com 1K budget builder from a few weeks ago for more on the backup QB plays. But I love myself a good backup QB play. Jordan Travis has some Florida State cards. They're not the best, and they are a little bit overpriced in terms of the autos. So I thought these were great deals. $50 in a Jets uniform for the white tiger stripe out of 5, and $20 for the jungle in a Jets uniform out of 25. I'm excited to see what these cards look like. All right, now the next 2 are super flyers as well. And I went in a bit of a different direction with the next guy, even though the theory is the same. The cards weren't available. So Spencer Rattler, there's a lot of hype around Spencer Rattler because all of his cards were sold out other than the base. So remember, the base are print on demand. So that was an indicator that because all of his cards were sold out other than the base, that I should just go ahead and get the base because his market is pretty strong for a 5th-round pick. He was selected 21 spots ahead of Jordan Travis at 150 overall by the Saints and slots in to be Derek Carr's backup. So if Derek Carr poops the bed again, we could see Spencer Rattler this year. So I got 25 base cards for $100, and I'm going to flip them in the preseason because we're likely to see Spencer Rattler, former 5-star recruit, in the preseason. We're likely to see him in the preseason. He struggled in college, but he's projected to be a solid pro QB. So I went Spencer Rattler. He's got a big name. He's got high awareness, and he's a backup quarterback now in the NFL, which means he's going to play in the preseason. He could get some looks if Derek Carr were to go down. I don't plan on holding these, though, because there will be more Spencer Rattler cards to hit the market. This is a quick flip in the ilk of McCarthy and Penix that I talked about a minute ago. All right, and then my final flyer, as I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, is Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, who was a 7th-round pick out of USC. Probably only went to this rookie premiere because Jerry Rice is his father, but there is a white tiger stripe out of 5 that I bought for $50. And I thought, you know what? Taking a flyer on Jerry Rice's son, if this dude flashes at all in social media, in training camp, or even in a game in the preseason, I could definitely double up or triple up even on that white tiger stripe out of 5 from the rookie premiere. So I would encourage all of you to check out paniniamerica.net. Just dig in, see if you can find something that makes sense. Ask me a question at nooffseason.com/ask if you just want to make sure that you don't make a dumb decision. All right, so now it's time, before we say goodbye on this Wednesday show, I want to thank everybody for all of your support, and hopefully you keep coming back to the Sports Card Strategy Show. Hopefully you share this, leave a positive review for us wherever you're consuming this content, and check out nooffseason.com. But I want to say congrats to our nooffseason.com family members, Graybos. Graybos had a grand opening in their new location in Richmond, Virginia. And if you go to Graybos_cards on Instagram and check out a reel, you will see the reel that I'm showing. Those of you who are watching on my screen right now, a great sizzle reel video from Graybos grand opening. What they've done is they've basically created a full experience. You can see kids playing putt-putt in the card shop. There's a sports bar connected to it called Parlay. It's just an overall phenomenal experience. You've got video games. So whether you are a sports fan, a sports bettor, whether you're a fantasy sports player, whether you're a hobbyist, I mean, you can do it all at the new Graybos location. Graybos Sports Cards in Richmond, Virginia. Shout out Gray, Duke, Fitz, the A-team. Koa's in the house, says great info. Love you, Koa. Love all of you in the nooffseason.com fam. I'm going to hit you with the outro. Everybody, thanks so much. I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Let's make some money flipping sports cards, everybody. I'm Paul Hickey. For everybody else here at nooffseason.com, have a good one. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at No Off Season Card. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.